Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And for anyone who doesn't know, this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or sometimes for no reasons at all.
I'm so glad that you do the intro.
I mean, I still fucking lose it every once in a while. It just pops right out of my head and I don't remember what we're doing or why we're here.
I mean, this is only episode, 183?
I just realized I was like, I don't know the number because I didn't send the email to Jess.
I think it's 183.
With my photos. I
Photos.
didn't even look up photos because I watched so much on this
Right.
on this episode. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be really excited to wash my hands of this story.
Yeah.
So much. There's so much that I am like, I was writing for 2.5 hours this morning and that wasn't the first time I wrote.
She forgot we were recording. No.
Yeah, right.
She's like, what do we have today?
And like, you think because you've been swimming in that water the whole time, it'd be really easy to grab a bucket of the water. And I was struggling.
If you're swimming and you try to grab a bucket, that'd be a little difficult.
I don't know. It was a lot. I'm pretty exhausted from my day already.
Oh, well, my day
Yeah.
was a little, and then she said, can we talk about this? And I'm like, he listens on and off, but he picks which ones he listens to. So maybe my husband won't listen to this either way. Sorry.
Right.
I'm really not because it's not a big deal. But he was snipped this morning. So I had to take him to the hospital at 7:45. And he got back there at 9. So 30 minutes after his point, he was sitting there waiting, all
it's so annoying.
nervous. And then this lady brought in 3 kids. Like, people just need to know that when especially where they're all waiting to go do the same thing. Like, all the men in there look like they are like, fuck. Like, scared. Like, all the dudes were white faced. This lady brings in her 3 kids.
They were only doing vasectomies there. That's all that could be done.
There was 2 windows. One was prenatal medicine, and then the other one was
What a horrible
urology.
thing to do.
So it was pregnant women and dudes. And like, then this lady comes in with 3 kids and she comes out. She's like, well, they said y'all can't go back there with me. Just leaves her kids in the fucking waiting room. And they're running around and screaming. And I was like, where the fuck are our headphones? But anyway.
Buy them. That's not even like
yeah. And then
illegal?
finally, like 20 minutes later, they said, she said my mom's coming. So then then I finally found my headphones. This old lady walks in, but she's one of those, I'm going to talk loud to the children. So everyone knows, put that down, Samuel. I'm like,
there is nothing better than going through that experience while he's going to get snipped. You're like, and this is why.
Yeah. He looked at me and he goes, do you think it would be bad if I asked if they did euthanasia at this hospital? I was like, but no, he's good. But we were going over his restrictions and he laughed and threw it to me, the paper. And on one column, it's like, do not. It's like, run, jog, dance, all this weird shit. And then at the bottom, it says no sexual activity for 2 weeks. And I was like, bummer, but I get that. And then on the other column, it's like, don't do this after 7 days. Gentle, in all caps, sexual activity is okay.
Did you ask what that is?
I wasn't in there with him. I had to sit out.
I know, but I doubt that they were like, our definition of gentle sexual activity is.
I know, but like...
That would have been my first fucking question when I went through there. I would have been like, okay, I understand everything else. I won't dance. I won't pop, lock, and drop it.
I know. Will's like, well, I'm not doing it if I can't.
If I can't do the tango. But I would want to know I'm like, can I get hard? I guess is the main question, right?
Yeah.
I get an erection.
I don't know. From what I've heard, you can, but no, I don't know what it is. But my head went to that video of the turtle fucking the shoe.
Yes,
that I made you watch a million times. If you haven't seen it, pause this, go Google it right now. But yeah, where it's like where he's literally going so slow, like that's it. Will I go? Will, you know what that makes me think of? And his immediate response was,
right.
That's why he's the love of my life. But anyway, yay.
Yeah, to that.
He will feel better, but he is walking a little bit like a peepaw.
I bet.
At the moment.
I was like, Trav, my husband is snipped. He's been snipped for like fucking 15 years or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, text him. Give him some advice. I was like, tell him it's not that bad. He goes, no. And I go, why? And he goes, because it fucking hurts. And I go, oh. I thought this wasn't like really painful. And he's like, no, it hurts. I was like,
I'm glad he didn't talk to him first.
Yeah. No, he was like, I'm not telling him the truth.
Yeah.
Well, like, okay.
He said that he told the lady, he goes, I'm going to try not to jerk. And first of all, I was joking with him. I was like, told who? what's her name? He was like, shut up. But then he goes, that he was like, well, I'm sorry if I jerk. And she goes, oh, we had one guy that he was, I guess, a boss somewhere. And during the procedure, I keep pointing like you don't know where it's at. He was on the phone chewing out one of his employees while they were giving him his vasectomy. Crazy. And the lady said they were like really weirded out.
That's wild.
And then some guy sat up straight in the middle of it and screamed in her face. So
I don't know. I feel like too, when you look back at those things, like I had a boob job and I remember being like, it's painful, but I would like not, they give you drugs. You know what I mean? Like you have moments of pain. I'm curious to see how long this like you know, because you were pretty much drugged up. And then by the time I stopped taking the pills, I wasn't hurting anymore.
He didn't have any
besides
pills.
massage and those hard rocks in your chest underneath your muscle. That fucking sucked.
Yeah, I bet. But yeah, they didn't give him any drugs or anything. You get more drugs when you go in to get your wisdom teeth out. He just has to take Tylenol. I just assumed they would. And it really said
at least
put a bag of peas on them. A frozen bag of peas.
Why peas?
I don't know.
Oh, I guess probably like the molecular structure. No, it's probably because they're small and it's like comfortable and soft on there, and it's not like big
ice cubes.
Yeah, or even like something heavy. Yeah. Like it's light and cold.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some things.
There's no transition.
There's no transition, and this is heavy that I decided to print it front to back, and I was going to be like, sorry, Jess.
Okay.
All right.
What are we doing?
We're doing a lot. But before we start today, I had a hard-hitting, starting off strong, question for you. And are you ready for it?
No.
You're going to have to be. Do you know your direction right now in this life? Do you feel like you know, like do you feel, rooted in who you are and the direction that your life is in today?
Oh, yeah.
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 Me too.
Yeah. Oh, did you want
I like to think. No, that was literally it.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I do.
I feel like we're in a lucky space of knowing the direction that we're going in. Mm-hmm. There's been other times where I would say smaller windows, and it would have been maybe 1 or 2 months out of my existence as an adult over the age of 18 that I didn't really know what the fuck I was trying to go for.
Oh, I had several years of that.
Okay, so you had like big chunks of time where you just had no clue what you were going to do.
Yeah.
No
direction, I had a direction,
spirituality.
But I would just figure it out. I was just like, I'm just having a good time. I'll just figure it out. I'm having a good time. That's my 20s. Yeah.
Okay. My works cited page. We have ABC, History Channel, CNN, People. I also looked up other things and I realized I didn't include them, but assume they're like some one-off articles on this story. Okay. Also, HBO Max, Heaven's Gate, The Cult of Cults.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, real quick. Whenever I saw this on there, I 50-50. One got excited too. I was like, son of a bitch. But no, I'm excited. I'm happy that you're doing it because I want to hear it from your perspective because I know this story, but I don't remember every little detail. So.
Yeah, I don't know that. Don't worry. I'm not telling you every little detail.
I don't know how you could. It'd have to be a 3-part show.
Oh my God. So yes, today we're going to talk about the Heaven's Gate cult, also known, they've had a million different names, Human Individual Metamorphosis and Total Overcomers Anonymous. I think there's something else are also referenced, which this is one of my longest stories. So there's probably shit in here that I'm going to talk and start in the beginning and be like, oh, I forgot it's already in there. I can already tell. I also wanted to say that there's so much information on this, and the question is why, and it's because this motherfucker, like this whole experience lasted like 20 years. Mm-hmm. So most of our stories are not 20 years of wild information or 20 years in the making. And so that means there's lots of moving pieces, people coming and going, all that jazz. In the documentary on HBO, Heaven's Gate, The Cult of Cults, it's literally 4 episodes. It's a docuseries that are about an hour long. And this podcast episode, God willing, is going to be an hour long. Mm-hmm. So I want everyone to understand the math that I'm not going to cover everything. So obviously, if you know this storyline and you're like, how did she leave that out? Fucking time, man.
If you want to chime in, be like, oh, also blah, blah, blah in the comments. Don't come at her, but feel free to.
Oh, ain't nobody know how to fucking write on any comment ever without coming at somebody. Unfortunately, it's 2026 and everyone's fucking spicy. Everyone's a spicy margarita on the menu when it comes to comments. No, not really with us.
I was
We're
like,
really
with
lucky.
us, we're very lucky.
We're so lucky. I just feel like everything I see is negative comments. But I also am not the one staring at our stuff either because I can't take emotional distress of that level coming at me. So what I also want to mention that if this is like getting your motor going, please watch the documentary or the docuseries. It is really good. The Key. Yay. Thank you. Oh, why did I scream into the mic? Sorry, guys. That was very loud. Today's very spicy. Me and Heather are actually going to be like shutting down the studio and locking the door. And then I don't know what we're going to do with the keys.
Shove it up your butt.
Oh. Maybe that's the gentle stuff for Will.
Gentle sexual stuff.
The gentle sexual stuff.
All right. Tell me this.
Also, I had a lot of prefacing before I even got into this story. I was like, because this one's so long, I'm just going to come in hard with my stance on some things. Okay. So I want to start this with the utmost peace and respect to each member of this cult, the families who lost their loved ones and all those in between. I don't want to act like any of these people were crazy because at the end of the day, they were brainwashed and unbelievable cult style tactics were released on them, which is really hard for anyone to avoid.
Right.
Anyone who is found at a crossroads or experienced a traumatic event, lost their direction, could be ripe for the picking for a cult. And this happened to more than 39 smart, educated people who had loved ones. This is why we just throw the papers on the floor, waiting for them. It's a wild story, and I'll do my best not to say the word crazy, but I can't promise anything because that's a big vocabulary word for me that I use a lot, but I'm going to try not to say crazy so much.
Well, at least you did. Yeah, that's a good disclaimer because I say it all the time. Like in my 20s, like you asked me that question. If Nexium would have come at me in my 20s, I would have gone.
100%. We've said that 1,000 times.
Yeah, and like, so there's...
But you couldn't have... couldn't have paid me any amount of money to join this shit.
Yeah. Once I got in there, I'd be like, this is a little out there for me. But there's some like...
No, there's not a single part of this. I would believe it. I have to say, other cults, you're right.
Yeah.
Even like Manson. Mm-hmm. Like there's things where you're like, oh, that would tie in with me. But not so much.
Yeah.
Here.
So thank you for that disclaimer because I think it was very accurate.
Oh, you know what? That's what I'm here for. Disclaiming. Heaven's Gate is still the largest mass suicide on U.S. soil.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So let's actually get into this. There was a specific kind of vacuum in the American air in 1972. It was a post-60s come down where the radical hope of the counterculture had shifted into this desperate, grasping search for something truly other. UFOs were like a huge UFOs were like a huge thing starting out in 1947. I don't know if you knew that. Mm-hmm. But as time progressed, the distrust of the government started to soar after Vietnam and Watergate. And it all really shifted into spirituality, if you can actually imagine that. So early in the late 40s, early 50s, it was this whole other wild fucking thing. And then it was like, beam me up, Scotty. It's interesting time to be alive.
Right.
It was the perfect time that created the introduction and longevity of the Heaven's Gate cult. So Marshall Applewhite is our main key player in this story, and he was a man whose human life had effectively disintegrated. He was a Presbyterian preacher's son, always hard when you're a preacher's son, and charismatic music professor. This dude was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
He was so good, super skilled. He had unfortunately been dismissed from the University of St. Thomas following an alleged relationship with a male student, which, I mean, alleged. He was banging a student. Who cares? His dad was not a fan, and neither was his wife, who had already left him over multiple homosexual relationships. Now, hiding your sexuality is always something that makes me sad. I always highlight that.
Right.
I have a whole different feeling for people who have to hide who the fuck they are, and that makes me so sad.
Yeah.
And obviously it made him sad. He got depressed from this. Everything was so fucking hard. They say he started hearing voices. And I'm like, was he a schizophrenic? They never mention that ever in anything, that he's a schizophrenic. And I'm just like, I feel like anytime people say they hear voices, which is a very hard situation because we've seen so many manipulative people create this kind of persona. It's just, and when I was growing up in the 90s, if you heard voices, you were schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. And it's like the most terrifying mental health issue.
Right.
Which I mean, to me, that was always the biggest fear, was like schizophrenia. Also because it doesn't seem like they could really like, what's the word I'm looking for? Cure it, if you will.
Right.
Okay. I also believe, and I put in parentheses, without hard evidence, that maybe this had something to do with his fight against his own sexuality, and that he was at a morality war in his head because his dad was a preacher. His dad obviously, like, there's very few religions that are like, yes, be gay.
Right.
We love and support that. So his dad, he was raised as a Presbyterian. I can only assume that if you were trying to live your life and you had a faith angel on your shoulder, that the faith automatically said no to what you were doing.
Right.
Then maybe that's the voice I'm hearing in my head, is my morality fighting my choices.
That's an interesting point.
I'm an interesting person. Now when he met Bonnie Lou Nettles in a Houston hospital, the connection was instant. What they would later call a divine assignment. Nettles, a nurse with a mother of 4, was already drifting through the astrology and theosophy, channeling a 19th century monk named Brother Francis. Straight from Wikipedia, guys. Theosophy, am I saying that right? Theosophy? Theo, it's like my doggies. Theosophy.
I guess.
I'm going to say theosophy. If you don't like it and it's wrong, just laugh at me.
Privately
shun me in your mind.
Theology?
No, it's spelled theosophy.
I've never heard that word.
I'm about to tell you what it is.
Okay, cool.
That's why I put the straight Wikipedia definition, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is either. So it teaches that there is an ancient and secretive brotherhood of spiritual adepts known as the Masters, who are found around the world, but primarily centered in Tibet. The Masters were alleged by Blavatsky to have cultivated great wisdom and supernatural powers. The Theosophists believe they initiated the modern Theosophical movement through disseminating their teachings via Blavatsky, which was this freaking person who was studying it. Theosophists believe that these masters are attempting to revive knowledge of an ancient religion once found around the world that will again come to eclipse the existing world religions. In the space of a conversation, which I'm sorry, I jumped over that because I don't know what the fuck most of that means.
I was sitting there going, I got nothing.
Basically, I feel like I just said basically so loud. We'll go into it a little bit more on how that kind of like played a role in it, but it doesn't overall kind of be the hierarchying idea of what they're going in. In the space of a conversation, they granted each other this psychological clean slate, and that's referenced multiple times with them. I don't know how they get to just clean
so like
their
they're
slates.
like, hey, you know what? You're good. I'm good. Let's just get noogie or new them.
So apparently
Like-
he literally like was going in to visit a sick friend who was in the hospital and like bumps into her, and they like divine intervention of life. Like what 2 things did you guys say to each other that you were like?
It was like kismet, and they didn't from what I read and saw, they didn't explain it.
No.
So it's just like they just clicked. Well, it's like, so did we when we met, but we didn't like be like, you know what? We should just both have a clean slate. Are you cool with that? Like, you know, you and I didn't do that, like as friends. So I don't get it.
No, my slate was very dirty.
I didn't even have one.
So anyway, they were basically like they weren't broken people anymore. They were the dual witnesses from the book of Revelation. It wasn't a friendship. It was a metamorphosis between them. Now, Bonnie's marriage was already on the rocks, and she had been heavily involved in other groups that really showed her commitment to religion in general. Like, the girl was focused, you know, religion. I don't know if like a 2-second conversation happened and she threw fucking all this Blavatsky and great wisdom and supernatural powers at him. You know what I mean?
I just want to know how that casually comes up to someone you just meet in the hospital.
Me too.
Be like, do you know where the food court is? But no, listen to this. Like, how
Right.
does that go? How does that work?
It's so bizarre to me. And I love too, when I was looking through this, they're like, Bonnie Nettles, 44. I never heard Applewhite's name, like, not a name. What am I trying to say? His age. Yeah. Like, he was just like alive. It's so, it's, for this to have been what it is, and for me to truly have consumed as much information on it in a short amount of time, I understand. I still don't understand what the fuck happened. Like, even after writing 15 pages.
Yeah.
I still don't really understand what happened. And it's also because of the sheer length of time that this happened.
Right.
So, like, once more, I do not have the group of, like, the History Channel, and I do not have the fucking HBO squad helping me create this fucking episode. So, obviously, they have their shit aligned better. This is the best I could do. And there's going to be moments where I'm like, couldn't tell you when this was. I just know it happened. There's one point I write in here, this isn't when it happened, but this just felt like a good time to put it here.
I feel like he was around her age. Like,
or maybe.
Because, yeah, I feel like similar or a little bit older.
It's hard because he was just always gray haired.
Yeah.
So
I was picturing him trying to think, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So they began to wander. They're visiting churches to announce that the end was near. We all know that. And that they held the keys to a literal physical departure from Earth. There were a million reasons why in the 70s people thought the world would end. Some of it was nuclear fear. The first Earth Day started in 1970. I don't know if you knew that either.
I did not.
I had to understand what was going on in the world at this time for this to happen. So I have random information.
No, I like it.
Why the fuck was this happen? So the first Earth Day happened in 1970, and they did that because essentially they're like thinking the planet was dying. Population booms were really big. And of course, nuclear, like I mentioned the nuclear fear, but that was like the first time of like legit ass nuclear war concerns.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a really cool time.
So it sounds kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know?
So why not want to leave
Yeah.
this Earth?
Yeah.
Which a lot of people still believe that like we're the aliens that are here.
Right.
So dun dun dun. By 1974, the pair realized that to build a new world, they had to destroy the old one. They went underground, a strategic move that turned a loose collection of curious seekers into a hardened crew. This isolation was a primary tool for solidification. If you remove the outside world, the only reality that remains is the one the leader provides. This cult 101. In 1975, the group burst into the public consciousness during recruitment meetings in Oregon and LA. I believe this time that they were going by Bo and Peep. I don't know when the fuck they changed from Bo and Peep to Doe and T. And Doe and T is because fucking Applewhite, like, I think it was Marshall who liked fucking
The Sound of
Music so much.
And they thought it was like
stupid.
They thought it had like underlying tones in the musical, and he had the theater background too. So that's
See, and I didn't even hear the underlying tones on the documentary. It was literally like, yeah, he was really obsessed with that. Do re mi fa sol la ti ni. I'm like, come on.
Bo and Peep. Let's start going by that.
I'd rather die.
You can be Bo.
I don't want to do any of it.
Oh, fine.
I do not want to do any of it. I don't know. I just thought that was really dumb. So then this other thing happened in 1975, right? So 20 people vanished overnight from a small town in Oregon. And they're like, 20 people vanished. And it's like, no, 20 people left their families and their friends to go on this cult journey. And that is what kind of created a big ass buzz. Like, we're in a small ass town. Imagine if today in Owensboro, which is the 4th largest city in Kentucky, so we ain't small, but imagine if we found out that 20 people just up and left and never contacted their families again.
Right.
Left their iWatches, their phones behind, and they were like, I'm free. I'm free as a bird.
It'd be a hell of a lot easier to do it back then than now, but yeah, it would be bizarro.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. There was a big peak of like UFO and alien stuff too, and then cults and the whole, like, wasn't the 70s like the biggest cult boom? Especially, where was this at?
They were
Northern
gaining traction in
California.
Oregon and LA at that time.
So like out there was like 400 something active cults in the 70s at one time.
Well, it makes a ton of,
And
that
that's only
makes
the
so
public
much
ones.
sense too, right?
So like it's normal, like this, just having a group meeting and people are all searching for that.
Well, like, what other option did you have in the 70s? Like, as a female, like, we had to get married and find a guy. You know, we were still expected to be, like, Betty Homemaker. And then the guys absolutely had to get a job that paid really well, buy a house, have the kids, get the picket fence. Like, unless you did exactly as the world was telling you to be.
Right.
No wonder everyone was like, well, I'm just going to find this group of people and hang out with them in the woods.
Yeah, that was like the revolution of like the sexual revolution, and the people that went left, they went left hard. Like the people that split off from the norm, they went their own way. And it was a very cool time I love reading about that stuff.
It's very fun to read about it.
Yeah, not this stuff, but like
It's
just
what was going
interesting
on in
the
the
group
70s.
mentality and all that stuff of the world.
The world. At the heart of this early era was the demonstration. This was the absolute belief that Applewhite and Nettles would be murdered, resurrected after 3 days, and physically taken onto a spacecraft. To be ready for this, followers had to survive the logic of loss, a systematic stripping of the human identity. The pivots in this make me laugh so hard. So just remember this shit to start. So this was like requirements of the crew in 1975.
All right.
Sever all contact with family and friends immediately. Sell all worldly possessions. The proceeds belong to the mission. Abandon all careers, goals, and personal histories. Accept a nomadic life, sleeping in tents and begging for sustenance to prove detachment from the mammalian world. So give it all up.
Man, not just like give me your money and do a juice cleanse once a week, you know? They're like,
Right.
you're just a minion now.
Yes.
That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're just a follower.
Yes.
Okay.
And beg people to join, I guess. They were no longer mothers, sons, or professionals. They were students in a roving monastery, waiting for a ship that refused to arrive. Or it just was never going to arrive. What's the one, the Mother of God? This referenced in my mind so much her. Not her, but that whole... There's nothing to me that's a bigger set of blue balls than being confident that your mothership was coming to get you.
So they're doing all this, like I'm just following. So they're doing all this just to make sure that they get on this mothership.
Yes.
And that's the end game.
Yes. Yes.
So far, no ship.
No ship. And there's not, so far, I can burst your bubble. There's no ship the entire time.
Wow.
Because there's no record of a spaceship coming.
Spoiler alert.
To get anyone. As the years passed without a demonstration, right? Nobody was murdered. No ship came down. The group shifted from a social movement to the classroom, quote unquote. The structure became rigid. This is where we get intense, almost military in its precision, because Applewhite now believed, because I'm going to say now believed, that to enter the next level, one had to erase the mammalian entirely, like being a mammal, right, or whatever the fuck.
Oh, that's what that means.
I'm guessing.
I mean, I think you're right.
All right. I was like, yeah. This wasn't just about faith, though. It was about biological and psychological surgery. We've got to do a lot of shit to erase our human side.
Surgery.
So, no. Where'd you get surgery from?
Did you just say surgery?
Oh, like, sorry, you say no, I was referencing it as like they have to go through all of these psychological and biological changes to be this next 8 level of
Got it. Okay.
The next. I was like, what?
I know you looked at me. I'm like, I think that I'm tired, but I think that's what I said.
That's what you said. The daily regimen was designed to dissolve the individual. They practiced tomb time, which was days of absolute silence to prevent leakage of human thoughts. They used tuning forks, tapping them against their heads in a ritual designed to help them focus and dispel lingering human desires. Members in the docuseries, they were like, there wasn't really any direction on how or what to do per se. So they just chose to do things but without the guidance. Like, to me, what a yogi or a fucking monk would provide.
Yeah, they'd be like, you're going to do this 9 times and then pray to Allah or whatever.
Or they're like, here, okay, hit this tuning fork, put the end of it to the top of your head and speak to the mothership.
Yeah.
How do I speak to the mothership? What do I say to the mothership?
Yeah.
How do I tune into this? What does this tuning fork do? Like, a meditation practice to literally just sit in thought has so much behind it.
Right.
You can literally be trained and taught on it. There's science behind it.
And they're just like, this is what you have to do. Show your faith and do it.
And they're literally, that's what I'm saying though. These members are literally like, but yet we did not know what we were doing.
Yeah.
It's whatever. To prevent the mammalian trap of romantic bonding, Applewhite constantly rotated partners, often pairing people who honestly could not fucking stand each other. And why? Why, you ask? It's because we have to get to the most extreme expression, which was the war on the sex drive. When you said surgery, I was like, are you already bringing this part up?
No.
Because I know Heather knows this story so well. So I was like, fuck, don't go ahead. And I totally forgot. I was like, they have to go through this surgery to remove this psychological.
No, I'm like,
it just made me jump completely to where we're eventually going to get to surgeries. So once more, this body wasn't really our body, right? So it's like a vehicle, and sex is human, and we aren't humans. So like no sex. I also, again, wonder if this was something to do with Applewhite's sexuality and feeling that sex was like a bad thing and there's no good way. So if I can't be who I am sexually, then I'm going to take sexuality fully out of this cult.
I think you're right. I agree with your opinion.
Thank you.
100%.
Thank you. So they wore baggy androgynous uniforms that hide the human form. They end up cutting their hair so they all look like weird little boys.
Oh my God, they did.
Oh, and they made sure to never physically touch because hard-on city would happen. I couldn't imagine not being touched for years.
No, it's like, that's bad for your mental state.
Yes.
Like, even not in your no-no place, like even on the arm. Like,
yes, a hug.
Like, yeah.
A 12-second hug, bitches.
Here she goes.
Regulates that fucking blood pressure. That's what we got to be doing. At one point, they even had like a cleanup. Okay, this one... I hate even saying it.
I'm ready.
They had like a cleanup. They had like a cleanup station that was for the men who had nocturnal ejaculations or wet dreams, and it was like on record. So like you have to use this cleaning towel or whatever the fuck it was, because I was baking bread at the moment that they said this. So my back was turned to it, but they were saying that they literally had to sign in when they cleaned up after ejaculating in a dream.
And they all had to go to the same, like, with the same.
I'm like, it can't possibly be the same, like, towel. That's why I was like, because my back was turned, I was like, I refuse to believe that.
The same towel. It'd be crispy in 2 weeks.
Why would they go 2 weeks? They'd be washing that every day.
I don't know what they're doing. Why would you hit your head with a tuning fork?
They didn't hit their head with a tuning fork.
Oh, I don't know. I thought
no, they literally they hit the tuning fork and they place it on the head. Yeah, to be weird. Anyway, I don't fucking know. I don't know.
A cleaning station.
I don't know, guys. So like one of the dudes was really like, yeah, so they knew every time you
what? Say it.
Ejaculated during the nocturnal times. It's weird.
Like, what if they just don't tell?
That's against what they're trying to achieve here. Like, if you're trying to follow the rules and be like fully open so that you can achieve a higher level, you're going to follow them.
Yeah.
Or you'd leave and you wouldn't be into it. Obviously, that didn't work for everyone. So eventually, Applewhite and 7 other male members would end up getting a voluntary castration, which is cutting off the balls, if you will. And we're like, whoa, buddy, that's some crazy
7
shit.
of them?
But to them, this is a practical surgical solution to a biological problem. Like, I am not going to have sex. I'm not going to come. There's no point in me having these. I will remove them. It's like getting rid of a appendix. That is their belief. If the sex drive was a barrier to the next level, they would simply remove the barrier.
Fuck. There's no gentle sexual relations.
Now, they originally started doing these themselves. So let me just I'm honestly
this
not.
Is so unsafe.
All right. And that's what I'm saying. I honestly have no idea when this happened, but it felt right to include it in here. They had a bit of a group going on at the time, and they had a nurse on board as they tried to perform one on this fella. It didn't go as planned. His balls, they had removed them, but then they started getting bigger. And they're like, fuck. We have to go to the hospital. Real quick though, they put a piece of paper on the door that said Mexico so that if anyone asked where they got it done, they could say Mexico.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I hate that. I think that's really clever. Like, where'd you get it done? Oh, in Mexico, because I put Mexico on the fucking door. Anyway,
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic imploring your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their banging ass podcast studio,
Where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at WBOYmedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
Does your face look like a mugshot lately?
Then it is officially time for you to visit Hetef Aesthetics in Owensboro, Kentucky or Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right. Go see our girl Amber Teasley and her team because they'll have your face and your skin look like a damn filter.
And their staff is absolutely amazing. It's like a mini Botox party, which personally is my favorite. You leave looking fresher and you don't have a hangover.
Another good thing is that if you go in there and you tell them that A Couple of Sassholes sent you, you get 15% off of everything.
That's unbelievable. So if you have been considering getting that glow up and making that ex jealous, it's time. He needs medical attention, and wonderfully, they did take him to the hospital.
Okay, that's
But
good.
yeah, but not without a ton of fear. They were worried it was illegal and all that shit. And one of the dudes said he threw the guy's balls over a bridge into water to remove the evidence. So he just like had him? Why do you have him on him?
Oh, I don't know why I keep tightening my legs like I have balls.
I don't know.
I'm over here like,
I am not.
I don't know. Just sounds painful.
They end up going to the hospital for all of the other ones, though. They end up getting somebody who will perform those surgeries. And yeah, it was like 7 to 9 of these bros did
So
it.
that guy lived.
Yep.
Okay, good.
And he got his balls removed.
Okay, I felt kind of guilty. I couldn't remember if he lived or not. I felt kind of guilty for giggling. At his
Giggling
nuts,
at what?
at his balls. Because I was like, I don't know. He just hung him in the rear view like fuzzy dice.
It's just weird. It's just so depressing.
It is very...
Like, the dude who was talking about it in this, he ended up leaving the cult. Though I feel like maybe he still kind of believes it to a degree. Like, you have to keep in mind, if everything human in you was removed, like slowly through years and years, and everyone that was around you all believed the same things, did the same things, all of this, I don't even know how you'd come out of that cult experience and not consistently think, if I fully believed with all of my power of my being that I was an extraterrestrial, I don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to go back into it and then like go sign into work.
Yeah.
So
like, yeah, they have deprogramming people. Like,
Yes.
that's why they have those specialists, but it's nuts.
yes. So this dude like got out of it. And do you ever just completely lose your thought?
I was going to try to interject because I was like, I don't think she does.
I
what
knew
she
where I was,
gonna
and then
say.
you interrupted me, and then I lost it.
sorry.
And I'm like, fuck, now I'm trying to remember where it was. Oh, that dude was supposed to get that castration, and then he didn't. And I'm like, if there's one thing I bet he is really fucking happy about, it's that he didn't do that.
Yeah. I bet he's like, I made it.
That level of commitment, holy fuck.
But
Holy
I
fuck.
also bet that Bo and Peep, which one is which again? Applegate's the guy?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, like if you can get 7 or 8 of your followers to do that and agree to that voluntarily.
Yeah, he didn't, it wasn't his
like,
idea.
That's what I'm saying. But like he has to sit back and be like, okay, I have total control. Like at some point.
Right. Real quick though,
Yeah.
that was not his idea. It was the guy who went under the knife first that it went wrong. It was really him pushing for it. Damn. He was like a big, I hate that I don't remember his name, and I'm sorry guys on that. Like, my apologies, but he was very focused, and he was one of the, like, he was a top student, to be honest. And so like his enthusiasm for it, like, I don't even know if Applewhite wanted to do it or if he just did it because he felt like he had to as well.
That's valid.
So I don't know if that's the part that I would think is complete control. Cause it's just fucking that part's insane, guys. I'm sorry. That's insane because it's all just a made up idea of Marshall and fucking Bonnie.
Yeah.
Give me proof.
I'd be like,
Give me
bare minimum, I'm gonna need a PowerPoint.
any proof. Any proof.
Yeah.
So, like, okay, that's the other thing. I'll get into it, motherfucker. Okay, so things are going well, right? They have members. They're on this journey with us. Oh, like, essentially throughout the next 10 years, lots of things are going to happen. Because this thing lasted 17 million years. They will transform their book of beliefs, they'll gain more followers, and they'll make money to get things afloat. They lived in tents to start, but as they gained more traction through ads, flyers, and seminars, they gained some smart motherfuckers as well who could make them money and make some shit happen. They also had a member who came in with his trust fund from his dad who like owned a bank, which I'll end up saying on another page, but I don't remember all those deets. Mm-hmm. He basically was just like, I'll foot the bill. I'm a gajillionaire. Like, I don't care. Yeah. I would like a friend like that. Where's my phone? Because I made a note while recording while watching the show. And, I want to tell you, because one of the ads was, they put in at one point an ad on USA Today, and it was $30,000 back then.
Damn.
Yeah. They also did a Beyond Human TV series. So I just wanted to mention that as well. I also want to say, too, they allowed people to come and go. That's one kind of interesting thing. Is a couple came in, they literally left their kid and was like, peace be with you.
Yeah.
And they just came and went and came and went.
Yeah,
and
most of the time they do not
let you at all. But this one did.
That shows the level
and then
of
people
commitment.
went back.
That shows the level of commitment that their followers had to the cult itself. If you go see the mammalians or whatever, the people you left behind for years, and then you're long for that, and then you go back to it.
Yeah. But they didn't. I think even at one point too, he was promoting them to go back home for a second. And they were like, okay, I did it.
It's like
bye, mom and dad.
It's like the Rumspringa.
Yeah.
Except for the extreme version.
Right. Where was I? I ponder. Oh, before I go too far, I wanted to kind of remind you of where they are now in this belief.
Okay.
They believe that they are aliens from another planet waiting on their UFO and that they are a higher being. All human urges are just that they were trying, blah, la, 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 la. Fuck. All human urges are just that, and they were training to be at a higher level, and they are essentially just waiting for this mothership to come get them, to take them to their true home. By this point, you had to have a vehicle to be taken up to your mothership, if you will, a vehicle being a body.
Yeah.
And that point was really clear. We are just awaiting, and they're going to come pick us up like we are at a bus station. The members fuck. You guys, I've got to stop getting so high before an episode. No, I'm kidding. I'm not high at all. I just can't obviously speak. That's all.
On the podcast.
I said something. Yeah. I said something to Drew whenever I came in, and he was like, are you high? And I was like, no. I don't do that. I would never be able to remember anything. I would just be sitting here
She's so Bo and Peep, isn't that dumb? She's they did
Is that a book?
Is that a book?
Okay.
Do you think they had sheep?
So the members were essentially truth seekers. They were looking for their path to finding themselves, finding their religion. All humble and honest things to look for. Aren't we all essentially kind of chasing that, depending on when we were, where we were in life. In 1985, the group hit a theological wall that should have ended everything. All I can say is that everything should have stopped here.
Okay. It's sad it didn't. What year was that?
85. So we're 11 years in, essentially.
Okay.
I don't know how long Bonnie and fucking Marshall were hanging and talking about weird shit.
You don't know
before they started getting followers.
Yeah, they didn't really.
No.
It doesn't read, when you read about it, nowhere ever says it. It's just kind of all of a sudden they're intense and they have people that follow them.
Yes, and then it goes away and then it comes back.
Yeah.
And it's covered in things, but you don't know when or the years, and it's...
Yeah.
Bonnie Nettles, which at this point was T. Okay, so it was Doe and T. The older member whom Applegate deferred to and who was really running it. I heard too, she would when it was Doe and T, it was her. Mm-hmm. Applewhite's really just over here this is what my princess, and follows that because she was the one who was really into the theosophy and all the other shit.
Right.
So it's she was really the one doing it. Well, she dies of liver cancer.
Oof.
And this was an impossible event. Like, their core doctrine stated that they would ascend physically for a next level being to succumb to a very human disease was a catastrophic contradiction. This could not have happened if what they were preaching was correct.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave now because this is where it should have ended.
And it's so sad that it didn't. But yeah,
It's mind blowing.
It definitely should have stopped.
Yes.
There.
Applewhite, now alone and getting more isolated because he's really probably not the appropriate person to be running a death cult, was forced into a brilliant, desperate theological pivot. I will say go him. Go him on his ability to pivot this without the use of ChatGPT. So he abandoned the UFO version of the rapture and embraced an agnostic framework. The body was no longer the thing being transformed. It was merely a vehicle, a container, or a suit of clothes. T hadn't died. She had just discarded a broken vehicle to return to the craft. Hard pivot.
So your car breaks down and you're like, I'm just going to ride in the tow truck. And no one saw you get in the tow truck.
Yeah, now I can just ascend through my spirit.
Oh.
They picked me up.
Well, I'd be like, why didn't you say that before?
I'd be like, how did you just now figure this out?
Wow.
Yep. So obviously they lost members. Like, this is the biggest thing that happens where they lose members.
I bet.
To bridge this gap, Marshall, I keep going between Marshall and Applewhite. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you.
You usually do say last names, like a football coach.
I do. Well, and also we have people with same names. And every police report always goes by the last names. Like, everything that we do goes by last names. All right. It is what it is. We can't be talking about Jane. They need to know it's Crockett Jane. Okay. So to bridge the gap, Applewhite adopted the New Age concept of the walk-in. He taught that his own body was now occupied by the same sacred entity that had inhabited Jesus 2,000 years ago. A present representative of the next level. This allowed for a total clean slate again regarding their history. By decoupling the soul from the biology, Applewhite made the physical world and eventually the physical life entirely irrelevant. This is where the dangerous part in their philosophy started. Mm-hmm. This is where lives were at stake because now they really don't matter.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, she just basically said that they...
This is where we're dangerous. We're like, oh, the human body has nothing to do with anything. So
yeah,
and that's always the case in a mass suicide kind of situation. They believe that it's not. I mean, I say that I don't know a lot of stories on mass suicides and if they thought they were going to be able to skyrocket onto a comet or not.
Yeah.
Anyway, and what he ends up doing throughout this, as I must say, is like. They're regimented and they eat the same things. They do the same things at the same time. Like, they change their names. So they all end up being something Odie. So like Brooklyn, I guess they did it in a weird way. So like the guy's name was Sawyer. Great name.
Yeah.
Bring that name back, guys. Let's bring back Sawyer. If you're
name.
pregnant, name your kid that. Sawyer. And so he was like Saudi. And it was like SAWOD, but they spelt it kind of in a weird way.
What would yours be then?
I don't know.
Hezodi? Is that mine?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Like because I picked an easy one to remember. But all the other ones weren't as easy. So I really don't know. Bricodi probably is, I'd guess, but I wouldn't know how to spell it if it was like BR00. DY, like it was something like weird in the way that they spelt it as well. So it removed number one, you couldn't become an Odie until you reached a certain level. So like you wanted to be an Odie. And then once all of that kind of went down, it was just removing another level of you.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, Odie, that's so weird. That's like if you just hung out with a whole bunch of like last names Lynn, like Becklin, Brooklyn,
right?
Hecklin, like weird, you know? I just
that's definitely they're just like invoice numbers now with different first numbers.
Yes. Like the name didn't sound like your name.
Yeah.
So I could have been Bodie.
Right.
Just because it might be, depending on whoever else was in the cult already. You know what I mean? So
Right. That's
that does not make me feel like you're saying, hey, Brooklyn, at all.
No.
So they removed that portion of it. Same thing. So like the day that all of this shit happens, like they went to a restaurant, they all ordered the exact same thing. So like the regimen, I mean, you couldn't come. You weren't allowed to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't. And if you did, someone knew about it.
Damn.
Like you weren't allowed to have any physical interaction. You weren't allowed
Just
to be
like
with your family. Like
robots.
yes, they let them leave, but I think they did that to like try to keep them.
Yeah. So they didn't feel like, they felt like they were part of a movement as opposed to in what they really were.
Right.
Which was a cult.
And then Bonnie Nettles, when she was alive, she was contacting her daughter the entire time. She did not follow any of the rules that everyone else did. She talked to her daughter all the time.
Ugh.
When she died, fucking Marshall didn't even tell her. She found out 9 months after her mom died. And he was struggling to tell her, and he was going through so much because it was like that was his other person. And then also his entire fucking psychology or philosophy was crashing down around him too, and he had to pivot when she was the one running the ship the whole time. No pun intended, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Running the ship.
So I'll say that when the 90s rolled in, no one was really believing this. I do have to say that. Yes, it was in the Times Magazine, and people were studying them. Families were hiring private eyes to try to find their loved ones, and publicity was there. But when they would do their seminars, no. So like some guy, my apologies, fucking watch the docuseries. But this one guy ended up being like into the group at one point specifically to study it because it was getting its publicity. And I believe this was after he decided this whole vehicle thing. So what he did is he changed the word for everything. So like they showed it in the docuseries, but they weren't like running through it. It was just like an image of it. So let's say that the bathroom was the fecal canister. Horrible thing to say, but that your closet was the clothing holder, like whatever it was. They removed even the vocabulary of me calling this a chair or meet me at the kitchen or let's go outside on the patio. All those words removed. So your name was lost, your vocabulary was lost as well. You're being brainwashed.
Yeah. You're just a number.
Yes.
Like you have to do what everybody else does.
Yes. And so because they were becoming popular, but they weren't becoming popular because people were believing them and following them, if you will.
It's the kind of the any press is good press.
People are intrigued. They want to hear it. You sound crazy because you're literally putting ads out here. Putting expensive ass ads out there for you to get on the next UFO. Of course, somebody's going to fucking see that ad and be like, oh, get James on the line. He's going to do a story on this. This is fucking hilarious. This is right up his alley. Yeah. So people were talking about it, obviously. Yeah. But even some of the wealthier like families, they truly did hire private eyes to try to like find them. And they had gone underground, I feel like multiple times because they were trying to like hide from people trying to find their families, which happened in the first, when it was Doe and T in the beginning. That is literally what they were doing. They were we mentioned whenever they went in there and that's whenever it got serious. It did because they were literally hiding people from their families trying to find them.
Shit.
Okay, so speaking of the seminars, because these tickle my pickle like you wouldn't fucking believe. Okay. This one guy. Oh, I love seeing the videos because the 90s, God. Now it's hot. Now you see the 90s fucking Jeffrey Dahmer glasses and you're like, yes, daddy. Yeah. So this one guy who was in the 1976 like seminar, I'm going to call them seminars. I don't know what the fuck else to call them.
They probably changed that name too.
I know. In Oregon, had attended their meeting, and now we're into the 90s. All right. Okay. And it's recorded. That's so fun that this was on camera. He said something to the effect of, you all were certain that they were going to come pick you up on your spaceship. Like, did any of that happen? And so there's like 4 of them sitting there, mind you, with their bowl cuts. And they all wear these like shirts that kind of, they make me feel like the front part of it is like a Nigerian, like just not talking about the design of it, but the look of the like shirt. It just feels very Nigerian to me, which I don't know shit, but like that's what it reflects in my mind of a movie where I saw. someone in a Nigerian shirt. I don't know. But it did look kind of like extraterrestrial in a sense, you know, like it looked like they were all wearing a type of a shirt, but they have these gross ass haircuts, utterly fucking gross. There's no other scenario. Sawyer, that dude I talked to you about, the only name I remember apparently of anybody, because he was the one that's like now super hippie and like just talking. I know that dude is like reeks of weed. He looked good in his, and he was the only one that did. Like somehow his hair just fell extra fantastic, but everyone else looked like dog shit.
It looked like they got gum in that, you know, like if a little kid gets so much gum in their hair and they have to cut like that weird bang. It looked like they did that all over their head.
Horrible.
And they're all the same.
Yes. Anyway, so they just looked weird as fuck. I just have to say that. And I need you to understand that. Because they were like sitting on the tables in front of them in like a fucking community center cafeteria or something. And he goes, did anything like this happen? And they were like, well, no. And the guy's like, then he did not say this, but it was, they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. I mean, it's fair.
So then why are you here saying this stuff now? Like, why do you believe this anymore? When they were doing it back in the 70s, they were acting like the end was near from the jump. Like, we're going to die or the world's going to end within 2 to 3 years.
It's like sometime soon it's coming.
It's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
So 10 years later, when they come back, 12 years, I don't know, or whatever the fuck, 9-10 years.
Yeah.
A long time. They come back and they're like, well, dude, you said it was coming quick.
Yeah. Like,
that's why cults can't be around this long. Their dissemination of facts always gets fucked up.
And they always have some weird way they have to explain it away. Like to... Like
you have to.
Because it's like, oh, well, that's not what I meant. I actually meant this.
And they just got quiet. They were like, well, no, that didn't
they just said
happen.
It didn't pan out.
They were like, oh, no, it didn't happen. And they were like, then what are you literally doing? And they're like, well, we're expecting this to happen, you know, later.
You're
and it's
like,
are you fucking kidding me? So this other dude that looks like they're at like a community, maybe not even a community college. It looked like a decent amount of people were in this, like what truly did look like a classroom. Mm-hmm. And this one guy is sitting back there and he goes, because once more, there's flyers everywhere. And like, I'm sorry, Beck, if we see a flyer like that here, if we are not grabbing a martini and a nice like bread appetizer and then going to the seminar, then are we even friends? I would have to sit. I have to know. I'm like, this is the birth of a cult. Yeah. We're going to see what it's about.
Can I tell you something funny?
Don't give them your phone number. You know what I mean? No email addresses.
Right. And we're going to call ourselves Bo and Peep.
Hold on. I'm going to finish this one story.
Okay.
So in that classroom environment that this guy is going into, he literally says, he goes, why is this so vague? I literally do not understand anything more from being in this room for the last hour. Like,
I mean, that's fair.
They were intrigued and they're like, what the fuck are you saying? And there's no evidence of anything.
They're just talking in circles at people.
You're saying that you're an extraterrestrial being, then show me. Take off your fucking face. Fucking make this water bottle levitate. Go invisible. Do something.
It's just like if people are like, oh, I'm really
funny.
Cook
this chicken really fast.
If people are like, I'm really funny. And they're like, tell me a joke. But no, they should be able to at least show
anything,
some kind of proof.
If you're saying you are extraterrestrial,
that's different.
Like, you're saying, that's what you're saying. Like, that is what Doe was saying. I am extraterrestrial. I came down here to take more followers with me, essentially. Because that makes so much sense. Mm-hmm. Okay, what funny thing were you going to tell me?
Oh, I was just going to tell you that everything that you're saying, I actually, back in college, I had a flyer put on my car that was very similar to this theology. The world was going to end. It had very aggressive lettering. I got invited to a meeting. They sent me the website that was like godwon'tsaveus.com or something. Don't go to that website because I don't know what it was. But anyway, like I kept it forever. It popped up on my time hop, but like it had like an explosion on the right-hand corner and like lightning bolts. And it was like someone on good cardstock and they stuck it in my way, and I like was this close to calling the number, and I was too scared. I'm like, they might murder me. But there was a meeting, and I did get invited to go.
I mean, you should have gone.
Yeah, it had a UFO
At
on
that
it,
time
so-
in college, you had no direction. I'm glad you didn't go.
No, I wouldn't have joined that one, but I'm glad I
You
didn't go.
would have ended up in not good places, I'm sure. Now it's sex trafficking. If any of that shit happens now, just assumption is that it's sex trafficking, sadly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so by that time, Heaven's Gate, so we're talking 1985. Wait, oh, I lost my
You
years.
said
No, we're in the 90s.
90s, yeah.
Heaven's Gate had settled in Southern California, and the irony of their existence reached its peak. While they were meticulously planning to abandon the earth, they were simultaneously becoming pioneers for the World Wide Web.
Oh.
They weren't just truth seekers in the weird accoutrement. They were professional web designers. So operating under the business name Higher Source,
Oh, God.
they funded their 9,200 square foot mansion in the elite enclave of Rancho Santa Fe through high-end digital labor.
Damn.
Yeah. So they were known by clients as polite, efficient, and highly skilled developers. They were hiding, obviously, their apocalyptic view on everything.
They didn't bring that up.
Yeah, no, they were just normal working. The $7,000 monthly rent for the monastery was paid in cash, earned from their design work. And I am going to say, because that specifically, number one, they were in that mansion. But the monthly rent and the web design portion, that was in Wikipedia. And I just don't know that it was all covered by that because they did have that rich dude.
That's what I was thinking, too. But still, though, that was back when websites were, rising up.
Yes.
And not a lot of people knew how to do it.
Yes.
So the bigger companies would shell out some cash.
The dude who was ready to cut his balls off and the teacher's pet was an engineer, like a coder guy. So he was really the one that was boot scooting, boogieing that little party train. Now at that mansion, they literally only let certain people outside at a specific time so that you didn't know how many people lived there. So if I was out of 39 people that were living there, if I was one of the 5, if I was one of the 5, I was allowed to be outside.
The 5?
Who they only allowed a specific amount of people to go outside that made it a normal amount of people that should be living in a house. They had no clue that a cult was in there. They didn't know there was 39 people living
why
in
would
there.
you in a mansion neighborhood? That's very uncommon.
Yes.
Anywhere, but especially in a...
But for you to so that means there's a whole group of people that didn't go outside?
Ugh.
I don't believe that. I believe they said
maybe
it.
they had to wait till nighttime and they had privacy fences or something. Who knows?
I would assume too the privacy fence thing came through, the one who had to go get groceries and stuff. They're we're just a weird sextuplet group. It's still weird if 5 fucking adults live together.
Unless you're on Real World in the 90s, I don't think there should be more than 7 strangers picked to live in a house.
Yeah.
And have their lives taped.
Oh, God. And they did. They used the fresh and new internet to host their official website, which served as both a digital gospel and a time capsule. Now, I opened up my browser and then got distracted. And I meant to look it up. But from my understanding, that website is still on today because people still pay for it.
Who's people?
The surviving cult members.
Oh.
You'd remember people left and they just weren't a part of the mass suicide. They still believe in some of these ideas. When Comet Hale-Bopp appeared in 1997, during its 4,000-year orbit around the sun, followed by the Phoenix Light sighting on March 13th of 97, Applewhite saw the final sign. Doe made a big don't. And he became convinced a spacecraft was trailing the comet, hidden in its shadow, and that the classroom was over. It was time for graduation.
Oh, no.
The idea was that a UFO was trailing the comet, and if they scheduled this to coincide with the closest approach of the comet, their souls could reach the next level before the closure of Heaven's Gate. After their deaths, they believed that the UFO would take their souls to another level of existence above human, which would be both spiritual and physical. Yeah. Can I say something that's going to piss off people? Why do we think heaven is any more real than this?
I mean, it's valid question.
It's a wild notion that when I die, there's a guy named God up there that's going to welcome me into his gate, heaven's gate, and I'm going to live fruitfully with my family and souls as little bright lights, or with my little wings or something.
All right. It's a valid question.
Same thing with, or I believe in reincarnation. When I die, I'm going to be turned into a flower.
Everything.
If you stop and say any religion,
any of them,
they
all have blind faith no matter what.
What is more fantastical than a religion?
Right. All spirituality has blind faith of some sort.
Yes.
And so, like,
yes.
Everybody could be like, oh, they're weird, they're crazy. Well, they probably think all the other religions are crazy. They all think that all those are out there.
And someone else, it was the daughter of the mother, or maybe it was her parents, because I think it was her parents were in it. She goes, the thing is that my parents were so smart. They were so intellectually smart. And she said that nothing was simple. So they couldn't just believe in this running on this planet doing this thing, that they needed the like mental stimulation of like more. What is there?
Right.
Like every religion has a wild concept. It has blind faith. Everything that we do has blind faith.
Right.
I believe that everything will be okay. Mm-hmm. And that is my blind faith. So that's what I was trying to get at too, was just how smart these people were. That it wasn't.
That's what you
like,
said.
Yeah, we need to like stop thinking that every cult person is crazy.
Right.
And I don't know that anyone, like, we say it and you see it, and they really did cover it like on the media. They were kind of crazy.
Yeah, they did.
But like, I mean, NXIVM was all smart people. I guess what it comes, fucking Sarah Lawrence.
Yeah.
All these things were smart people, and it was hard to not victim blame on that one. But there's still once more no reason to. Like, there's no reason to victim blame in a cult at all. If you were in the same mental space or anywhere near it emotionally, mm-hmm. and these government tactics were pointed at you, it would happen to you too.
Right.
That's how when people are captured, are fucking brainwashed into believing whatever they have to believe in to survive.
Yeah, it can literally happen to anybody, but
yes.
I think we were conditioned back when these first started coming out that like
Manson, that's why
they're hippies and they're bad people, and a lot of people, they're just searching, or they're vulnerable, or they're unfortunate, or they're just literally looking for something more and they trip and fall into it.
Yeah.
Like, so there's not really.
I think it was the Manson family that did it. Probably. Because they murdered people. And because the girls were crazy. Like, they were crazy. They were singing, and like they were fucking terrifying.
Yeah, they definitely
made it terrifying.
Yeah,
sure. They were fucking it. Anyway, so the mass suicide of Heaven's Gate was not an act of despair, obviously. This wasn't forced like Jamestown or anything like that. It was a ritual and clinical calculated event that they planned meticulously. Mm-hmm. This was not just you're not leaving, drink this Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Marshall Applewhite and their group recorded themselves the days before the mass suicide. And it's so sad and creepy, but also nothing like what you'd think. It was creepy because they all seemed a bit manic. If you ask me, in their eyes, they all looked manic to me. Like, they had the crazy eye thing going on. Because they were just like...
Yeah, they...
Like... over smiling, overly intense.
Some people were talking about if you think that they were that like that, or they were that excited.
And then that's what it was.
Yeah.
They were that excited. I love that you say that. I love so much that you say that. But I said they looked manic in the eyes because they were so fucking pumped. Mm-hmm. Like, ready to do this. It's finally time. They just also looked so fucking strange. With their fucking unisex look. Like, there's no way.
There's no way to describe it.
To just make it not seem like they were just weird. And they just talk of them being on the away team and their excitement for what was to come. They were fucking pumped. They were excited. They were ready for it. Applewhite knew that for the graduation to have meaning, there had to be witness, right? So he chose Rio D'Angelo, which was formerly Richard Ford, who had been with the group for 3 years. And he was instructed to stay behind to manage the group's narrative and ensure their story was told. They recorded videos of themselves to send to their families after the fact.
Oof.
Now, some also wrote letters. They were excited and ready for their new future, and they wanted to share it with their families. Over 3 days in late March, the 39 members, 21 women and 18 men, ages ranged from 26 to 72, methodically exited their vehicles. They died in 3 waves, with those remaining cleaning up after the others, ensuring each body was posed neatly on its bunk bed, covered by a square of purple shroud. Members took lethal doses of the sedative drug phenobarbital, mixed with apple juice or pudding. I saw apple juice. I wonder if someone's stomach had pudding. They consumed vodka, which mixes well with barbiturates for the sole purpose of overdosing, if you will. Afterwards, because that wasn't enough, they secured plastic bags around their heads to induce asphyxiation. Oof. The final 2 were the only ones who didn't have a shroud over their top half, and it wasn't Applewhite. Applewhite actually passed in the second wave. Each wore black sweats and brand new black and white Nike Decades. The choice of footwear was practical. They got a good deal. That shocked me. But the Heaven's Gate away team patches on their shoulders made the intent clear. In their pockets, they carried a $5 bill and 3 quarters. I saw that on Wikipedia. I could have, because I promised you guys I consumed way too much information in a short amount of time. I could have seen it in the documentary too and just don't recall it. Some members later claimed that this was a humorous nod to Mark Twain's story about 575 was the cost to ride the tail of a comet, though there's no such passage. So they could have made it up because they're weird, and sometimes we make shit up like the Bernstein Bears and shit.
Like that, what's the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Whenever your brain just thinks things happen.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I kind of wonder if that happened there. But then they also say the money was intended for vagrancy laws and payphones, a way to call home.
Man, 39 people.
Yeah. I want to see. Yep, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going. I was like, am I going to unpack that yet? And I'm like, no, let's just get through this suitcase, you know? How did they find all of this out? Like, how were the police eventually informed of this? And I'm just going to give you the insights. So Rio D'Angelo, once again, name changed. I don't know why he had changed it, was a previous member who had left, and he received a package on the evening of March 25th. Other packages went out and had the same items, but this is the one that had the cops called. So it contained 2 VHS tapes, one with Doe's final exit and the other with the farewell messages of the group leaders or followers, sorry. It also contained a letter stating that, among other things, we have exited our vehicles just as we entered them. D'Angelo informed his boss of the contents of the packages and received a ride from him from Los Angeles to the Heaven's Gate home so he could verify the letter. D'Angelo found a back door intentionally left unlocked and used a video camera. He recorded it, like I'm sure he was told to by his letter, and used a video camera to record what they saw. After leaving the house, his boss, who had waited outside, encouraged him to call the authorities, and of course he did. I'm just like, so Heather, I got this letter in the mail, this VHS tape. I think a whole bunch of people killed themselves. Will you go with me to the...
That's so many people.
Yes. And bizarre. To go through that many rooms in this house and see that many dead bodies with originally bags around their heads that they had taken off as they saw their friends die.
Yeah. But in their head, they didn't.
Right. They were like, oh my God, you're beating me. I can't wait to meet you up there.
Right. And they didn't. But the clips that I saw were chilling because it's literally just, they don't what I saw was the Nike shoes sticking out of and it's just, it's so fucking sad.
So many people.
Yes.
It is so many people. The San Diego County Sheriff's Department received an anonymous tip, which was D'Angelo, at 3:15 on March 26th, suggesting to do a check on the welfare of the residents. Caller. This is from it. Caller. Yes, I need to report an anonymous tip. Who do I talk to? Sheriff's Department. Okay. This is regarding what? Caller. This is regarding a mass suicide, and I can give you the address.
Damn.
The one deputy who first, or the lone deputy who first responded to the call, entered the home through the side door. Once again, that was left unlocked. Saw 10 bodies and was nearly overcome by a pungent odor. The bodies had been decomposing in the hot Southern California
So
spring.
he didn't take backup with him? Like, you think he'd be like...
He was probably out near the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I would assume it was, if it's a mass suicide, I'm not worried.
That's so...
I would go... Like, Homeboy walked into a mass suicide. Yeah. It's dead people. It's a mass group of dead people.
But, I just think that they might be like, they're getting set up or something. I don't know. It just sounds... You don't hear that call every day. So you think...
Yeah, I would have totally walked in solo. Oof. And he walked in... recording obviously on his vest or whatever the fuck they used at the time, right. Or he didn't, and it was the other guys that came in, but there's video footage of them coming into the space. I'm also intrigued too because they're like it smelled really strongly, and I'm like, did they turn off the air?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was too worldly to have air. Who knows?
It was a mansion.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
maybe they did.
I mean, it's going to smell either way.
Yeah.
But where the body, I'm just that, unless they really didn't care about their bodies and they were like, let's not charge any more money on the grid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
After a cursory search by 2 more deputies found no one alive, they retreated until a search warrant could be procured. All 39 bodies were eventually cremated. We often dismiss cult members as losers or fanatics, as we've really been trying to talk about on this episode. But the 39 in Rancho Santa Fe were accomplished, intelligent people driven by a profound yearning for purpose. So I'm going to go through about 5 of them who were just a little extra special. And then I'm going to list all the other ones. I grabbed the list that I could find online, which means I'm probably going to repeat these 5 names. Okay, I'm just making that clear. All the ones that I found, including the ones on I'm sure I could have dug harder. I'm sure of that. But I could only find the list of the people, and it was the days after, 2 weeks after, where they didn't have their driver's license or a passport in their pocket to identify their body. And so there were 5 that they didn't know. So which is confusing to me because I do remember that being a piece that they had their driver's license right next to them.
Yeah.
And these little go bags of what they thought they needed in the future, which they did. Did they think they'd come out of their body and grab their bag?
I guess.
I guess too. John Craig, who went by Logan, he was a respected Republican ranch owner from Colorado who had nearly won a seat in the 1970 State House of Representatives and appeared as an extra in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Yvonne McCurdy Hill, a UPS employee from Cincinnati. Her husband Stephen had joined with her, but eventually rebelled against the regimentation and he had left. She had stayed. I just need that to sink in on what it did with couples.
Yeah.
Leaving behind her husband and newborn twins.
Oh.
For the promise of the craft. Michael Sando, a decorated infantry paratrooper and veteran of Desert Storm. He was a class clown and already obviously cool as fuck. And he sought a new mission on the away team. Thomas Nichols, the 58-year-old brother of Star Trek's Nichelle Nichols. So the female actress, the African-American actress, I have to say because her race matters to point out who she was in Star Trek. It was her brother.
Damn.
Unbelievable. Famous sister. Gail Mater, a 27-year-old boutique owner from New York, described by her parents as a bohemian seeker who simply couldn't find her way out once the group's fucking shit took hold. David Van Sinderen, the son of a telephone company CEO and a dedicated environmentalist who joined in 1976 seeking a care of the world that was different than the traditional society could provide. Peggy Bull was a farm girl from Washington and a brilliant intellectual whose professors remembered her as being just sharp fucking minded. And then the guy that we had mentioned before was a super hot gay actor. And the one that changed his name
The guy
to Raphael, or I'm kidding,
D'Angelo.
What is his name? Something Ford. Anyway, he was an actor and he was hot. Apparently he was gay too. At one point, Applewhite was What did he say? He was like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but my vehicle is getting attracted to your vehicle. And so I'm going to need you to step down. And I think that's really why he had left originally.
His vehicle. I'm going to start saying that.
Go for it. Okay, I'm going to list a whole bunch of names.
Okay.
And it's because how the fuck can you do this and not list their names?
Right.
Dana Tracy Abrio, 35, female, Colorado. The state I'm saying is the state that their driver's license was issued from.
Okay.
So you can also see how far away these people came. Because you have to change your driver's license when you get a new address. I don't know if you guys knew that. Marshall Applewhite, he was 66. Robert John Arancio, 46, Texas. Raymond Allen Bowers, 45, Florida. LaDonna Ann Brugado, 40, Colorado. Margaret June Bull, 53, New Mexico. Cheryl Elaine Butcher, 43, Texas. Michael Howard Carrier, 48, Texas. Suzanne Sylvia Cook, 54, Minnesota. John M. Craig, a.k.a. Logan Lawson, 63, New Mexico. Betty Eldry Deal, 64, Texas. Erica Ernst, 40, California. Darwin Lee Johnson, 42, Utah. Jacqueline Opal Leonard, 72, Colorado. Jeffrey Howard Lewis, 41, Texas. Gail Renee Mater, 28, Utah. Joel Peter McCormick, 29, Utah. Yvonne McCurdy Hill, 39, Ohio. David Joffrey Moore, 41. That's probably Jeffrey. Joffrey, I'm acting like it's Game of Thrones. David Jeffrey Moore, 41, California. Nancy Diane Nelson, 45, Arizona. Norma Jean Nelson, 59, Texas. Thomas Alva Nichols, 59, Arizona. Susan Elizabeth Nora Paulp, 54, New Mexico. Margaret Ella Richter, 46, California. Brian Allen Schaff, 40, New Mexico. Joyce Angela Scala, 58, New Mexico. Gary Jordan St. Louis, 44, New Mexico. Susan Francis Strom, 44, Texas. Denise June Thurman, 44, Texas. David Cabot Van Cederen, 48, California. These are the names that were released by the date of March 28th, 1997. There was a male, 44, Minnesota license, born in Michigan, passport issued Los Angeles. I don't understand how they don't know them if they have the licenses. That was very confusing. And I pulled this up in 2 different areas. And they all had these same bodies unidentified. Male, 47, Lake Forest, California. Female, 50, Dallas and Albuquerque, New Mexico licenses. Female, 45, Las Cruces, New Mexico, born in Massachusetts, passport. I don't understand how they don't know. Male, 41, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Female, 41, state license unknown, born in Texas, passport issued in Seattle. Female, 63, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Male, 26, Boulder, Colorado, born in Virginia, passport issued in Washington, D.C. Male, 50, Arizona license, born in New York, passport issued in Los Angeles. This is the story of Heaven's Gate. The story of Heaven's Gate isn't a story of madness. It's a tragedy of the human search for belonging. It's about the cost we are willing to pay to find a home that isn't of this world. This is the sad, sad story of the cult of cults, Heaven's Gate.
Damn.
And once more, I still don't know what the Heaven's Gate cult is.
Yeah.
Like, even in this whole conversation, over 20 years of changing it, over what they were trying to believe, I don't understand how this gave them what other cults gave you. A sense of belonging, a location, a goal. Other than that, this didn't give you... You can even fuck. You know what I mean? It's just like this one just throws me because I don't see any part of the.
Normally it's like they do XYZ.
Yes.
Even in Scientology, which is a cult, not a religion, in my opinion. Anyway,
And we started that on HBO this morning.
God, don't get me started. It pisses me off.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Oh, God, please do. But anyway, they achieve it. They have to spend money to get the levels, but they achieve a certain level. And when they get that, that's like the holier than thou level that they can be. And then they know that they're going to be in heaven forever or whatever the fuck. But like this one, it's like they waited on one thing, that didn't happen. And then they come to this other one. And then they're like, all right, it's time. Like, but I don't, that's a lot of dedication for 20 years.
It's not like any of I don't know, we're like, I don't know, acting like you spoke to God or that you, do you know what I mean? Like, usually somebody is like, I tapped into it. I hit a metaphysical state in this. I have a higher level. I'm becoming a bigger professional. I'm making more money. Whatever is the weird payoff, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, normally, like, that means that Marshall should have been, like, a prophet.
Yes.
And Bonnie is her name, right?
Yeah.
Bonnie, she was smarter than everybody, and she kind of was driving that ship, but after she was gone, he didn't step into that leader role. He kind of just took them with him.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It is one of the more interesting cults that I've learned about, just because you're right. There's not like a hook, line, and sinker. Normally, like, they had restrictions and goals, but like they were kind of just existing until it happened. In the same,
yes,
like, lose it like as a follower, but not. It's an interesting concept to think about. It's like they hid in their own bubble, but they were happy there.
Yeah,
for the most part. But they hid there, and then they were just waiting and living, and they knew this was temporary, so they were just kind of.
And like you had that like partner that had to be with you all the time, which is super fucking cult like.
Yeah.
And you weren't supposed so you weren't having any private conversations if you did call your kids or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
So that was super crazy.
It was
to me
very culty. Like at the end of the day, it was super culty. But like you're right though. There wasn't an end game. Like besides leaving your vehicle, but like.
And he just decided that up in the jump whenever the Hail Bop came out. Right. Like they were like, ooh, Hail Bop's
I remember
coming.
that. That was so like, I was super obsessed with it.
I was too young.
I was real into it. Like I thought it was the coolest thing.
I bet, and I mean, it was magical, but it's just
it's very intriguing. The story's sad and very interesting at the same time, but it's super
I think what I'm
sad.
more frustrated with is that for my mindset on this, and maybe that's why so many people could do it, but so over the 20 years, essentially, this whole like fucking party was going on. There was still no like book written, philosophy behind it. No grandiose gesture of affirmation.
Right.
No.
They didn't have a Bible.
There's no brand fucking guidelines. You know what I mean?
Brand guidelines.
There just wasn't enough.
You're right, though.
To like I kept thinking, there's so much information out. I am misinterpreting the information. I must not be understanding. Because I can't seem to understand what the end game was. In the whole 10 years, I don't know what the fuck was going on until the end when he decided that the UFO was behind the comet and that was going to happen.
Right.
And that now we are just in vehicles and we're supposed, the soul is supposed to go before all of that. I don't understand.
Yeah. They were just living.
Like why you're trying to crash your human like part of this that we were supposed to get picked up by the bus and then we realized we're not going to get picked up by the bus. So then we have to float up there and get caught on the
bus
again.
Yeah.
But all my humanness, like I got to break down a few mental fucking things over here.
Right.
Until the whole body thing disrupted. And then it's like, now you're just trying not to be a human. Mm-hmm. So I've got to remove all the human aspects of life.
Yeah.
It just didn't sound like any fun. And I just feel like cults are supposed to be a good time.
It didn't sound like any fun. It is really sad. Thank you for saying as many names as you possibly could too, because their families, although that we can assume that they were happy with the choices, like the people that were there in the cult following the rules. We assume, we don't know. But I mean,
they left. They were allowed to leave.
I do feel bad for their family and friends.
Me too.
A lot of ripple effect for that. So
here's a lot of like decent in that is they were allowed to leave if they wanted to leave at any time. So a lot of the past members were able to talk about it because they were still alive. They weren't like executed for leaving.
Right.
And then they also said goodbye to their families.
Yeah, but it's
Which
just
is
like
just
if
terrible.
on the
To say that I am dying to jump on a UFO does not
Right.
help the fact that you died.
Yeah, I just think that as to play devil's advocate, if I was like, hey, I really want to bungee jump, I'm so excited about bungee jumping, and then I get up there and I'm like, I have to do it. I've told everybody I'm doing it.
Yeah, but it
I
didn't
don't
go
wanna
out
do it.
until you got to think about that wasn't mailed out until probably the very last like group of the wave. Like you could have pulled out at any time.
But but who knows if they felt they could though, just because everybody else was doing
Because
it. They
people
thought
have
they-
already left.
Yeah,
That's what
mean, like, in
I
the
hear what
heat
you're
of the
saying.
moment. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but in the heat of the moment, I obviously I can't speak to it. But like the fact that you were able to leave at any time, and that some people left 2 weeks before the mass suicide.
Right.
Some people heard about the mass suicide and they were like, I'm not down for that. And they left.
Yeah.
So if they were able to witness other people leaving,
Right.
that if they were in the heat of the moment, they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't think this is right. Then they could have left,
Yeah.
you know? But also on the video thing, I mean, we record ourselves for our wills and testament. Like the people do that any day. Mm-hmm. So I just think it's at least they got to see their family and hear their voice one more time, you know?
Yeah. Silver lining.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, there you have it. That was probably a long episode. Sorry, guys. It was a
Well-
lot, and I still feel unsatiated.
Well, it's a story that needed to be told, though.
No.
For sure.
All right. Like, rate, review, subscribe, all the things.
Yes. Do all
Check
the-
us out on Buy Us a Cup of Coffee or Buy a Cup of Coffee. I never remember.
it's buy us a coffee, yeah.
Yep. See, still got it wrong. Anyway, don't forget, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
We love you.
We love you. Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, A Couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?